On behalf of the Education Committee, I'd like to welcome you, all Black NSA members and guests. If you're joining us for the first time, we hope you consider becoming part of the Black NSA family. And you can do that by visiting the website, and we'll drop that information in the chat. Of course, also be sure to follow us on social media. Before we launch into anything further, your wonderful, fabulous, amazing President Letha Owens is here to share some great news with you.
Hello, 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 fam and cousins. How are you? So good to see you. Oh, I'm going to be really, really brief, but I wanted to make a few announcements. I wanted to let you know that, and you might have already seen some of these in the newsletter or on our social media, but I wanted to make sure that this information does not get missed. We have a partnership with the St. Louis chapter to co-support their Speaker Academy. So if you are someone who is at the stage in your business where you really could use some guidance, really putting all of the pieces together and figuring out, what's missing, what do you need to revamp, up level, what do you need to put in place in order to really build a strong foundation for your speaking business, please check out our website. Please check your email and look for the information that we've sent you about the St. Louis chapter's Speaker Academy. The important thing is that early bird will be ending soon. So if you're interested, please don't miss an opportunity to save money when you register. Also, I want to let you know that we're in our partnership with them. We actually benefit as a chapter. So when you support their Speaker Academy, you're actually supporting Black NSA. So I wanted to let you know that. The other thing is, if you have not seen the video, I want to make sure you know that there is a video, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I created a video called Each One Give One last month, and this is a new campaign that we are running as part of Black NSA. We are asking for every member to find 1 hour that they can contribute towards Black NSA every month. So imagine when we reach our goal of reaching 1,000 members, what kind of impact we are going to be able to have in the world when all of our members are donating at least 1 hour a month to help our organization be better and to also help our industry be better. So I just want to make sure you got that message and memo. And if you didn't, this is kind of like your quick reminder, and I'll put the video in the chat. I was going to show it, but I'm just going to put the video link in the chat. And I want to encourage you, we need you. And I'm really excited, though. I've seen several individuals I've had several individuals kind of pull me on, the collar and say, hey, Letha, I want to support. Hey, Letha, I want to serve. And that is so powerful. So I would love to invite you to consider where you can donate some time. I just believe that with all the value that we're working hard to provide to you, we are a family. We're not just a community. We are a family, and everyone, contributes to the family. And I want to just let you know we need your brilliance. So I'm really, really excited about that. I also want to let you know the implementation lab is coming up at the end of this month. I mean, we have bookends, you all. We had our writers workshop at the beginning of this month. And if you did not attend, you need to mark on your calendar for next month, this 3-hour workshop where you get to write. I wrote website copy and I got a lot done. And I want to encourage you, if you need to write in your business, this is the perfect opportunity to come with your colleagues and write. So that was at the beginning of the month. And at the end of this month, we have our implementation lab. If you don't know what it is, check out our website, but it is an opportunity for you to take everything that you've learned in the last 3 months during our EDU sessions and really work in your business, or actually on your business, implementing some of what you have learned. I want to thank our fearless leaders. Thank you so much, Sherry Ann Bruckner, for leading us tonight. And I'm going to turn the mic back over to you because they didn't come to hear me. They came to hear Shawn. Like, they're like, where's Shawn at? Is Shawn coming up next? Like, we want Shawn. So I'm going to turn it back over to you so that you can bring on our speaker for tonight.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Letha. And yes, the moment you've all been waiting for. Tonight, we are here So happy and grateful to present the one and only Shawn Fair, who is a truly a rock star in the world of leadership management training. As the top trainer in the country, he partners with leaders and mid-level managers from various Fortune 500 companies. Together, they host amazing summits, conferences, and keynote speeches that equip leaders with the essential skills and strategies they need to adapt their leadership styles and support their teams effectively. But that's not all. Sean is also the founder of the leading speaking platform in the nation called the Leadership Experience Tour. He's had the pleasure of working with more than 700 speakers, helping them elevate their careers to new heights. Every 6 months, Sean brings in 50 speakers to Troy, Michigan, where his talented team creates stunning branding and marketing for their social media, speaking websites, and personal sites, among other things. Please welcome Shawn Fair.
Thanks so much, Sherry. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I know I froze up a little bit, but they are they are tearing down this building behind my house, and my internet has been a little bit shaky. So hopefully, we won't have much of a problem here. So with that being said, is it okay if I share a PowerPoint? Do you guys mind if I do that? And
You
because
may.
and the only reason I want to share the PowerPoint, and just briefly, I won't share for the whole presentation, but some of you guys probably a lot younger than me, so there's some photos I need to show that that will help us with through the story. Is that okay? Okay. Now Lethea's laughing at me, but I'm being serious about this. So let me go ahead and see if I can. It says start sharing. All right, there we go. And please don't mind all of my mumble jumble on the screen here. And let me go into my slideshow. All right, you guys ready? Now, when I was in college, I leased my very first car. And my very first car was the Dodge Shadow. Raise your hand if you remember the Dodge Shadow. Anybody? Okay. I don't know why y'all smiling. I said that was my first car. Now, I enjoyed that car. I love that car because it was my very first car. 2 years later, I graduate college. I get a decent job, and I want to upgrade from the Dodge Shadow to the Dodge Neon, nitro package, fog lights, fin on the back. Lita, that's an upgrade. And I had that car for 2 years. I enjoyed that car. I love that car because it was my second car. 2 years later, I get a promotion. I start making some money. I go back to my favorite salesperson. Her name was Lisa. She had bright red hair. And I would go to her and I says, I want the brand new Sebring. It had just came out on the lot. And I wanted that car for 2 years. And Lisa, I enjoyed that car. I love that car because it was my third car. And then 2 years later, I get another promotion. I go back to my favorite salesperson. Her name was what? I just want to make sure that you're paying attention to my story. And I said, Lisa wanted the brand new 300M white car, tan interior. And I want to go back and forth like we always do. I want you to go and tell your manager that Shawn Fair has been here 4 times in 8 years. And I want to drop that price on the car because this time I'm going to do something very different. This time I'm going to shop around, but I'm going to give you the last word. So she goes and talks to her manager. She comes back. She's fired up. I'm fired up. She gives me an amazing price on the brand new 300M white car, tan interior. As a matter of fact, Sherry, the price was so good, I almost went against my word, which was what? Shop around. So what did I do next? You guys can come off boot if you want to. And so what did I do next?
Shopped around.
Yeah, I went to go shop around. I just want you guys to know that none of my questions are going to be rocket science today. I went to go shop around. So I went to Chrysler dealership B, and I told Chrysler dealership B that Chrysler dealership A gave me this price on a brand new 300 in white car, tan interior. And Sherry, if you could beat the price, I'm going to do business with you. Now she goes and talks to her manager. She comes back, she's fired up, I'm fired up. She gives me an amazing price on the brand new 300 in white car, tan interior. But then I thought to myself, you know what? Sherry, I'm going to think about this for a moment. I'm going to get back with you. So what do I do next?
Shop around.
Shop around.
I'm going to Chrysler dealership C. And I told Chrysler dealership C that Chrysler dealership B gave me this price on a brand new 300M white car, tan interior. And Lethea, if you could beat the price, I'm going to do business with you. Now she goes and talks to her manager. She comes back, she's fired up, I'm fired up. She gives me an amazing price on the brand new 300M white car, tan interior. But then there was a question that popped up into my head at that moment. Do you know what that question was? I'm going to tell you what it was. I'm trying to figure out how come I could have got this price the first time. I'm starting to feel a certain way about automotive salespeople. I have come to the conclusion I don't like them. So what do I do next?
Shop around.
I'm going to Chrysler dealership D. Now, Sherry, it's important to understand that I've exhausted all the Chrysler dealerships in the Detroit metropolitan area. This one's about an hour away from me, but I'm going to go out there anyway because I knew for a fact I was going to get a better price on the car. So I'm in my car, and I'm driving, and I'm listening to some music. I'm having a great time all by myself. And about an hour and 30 minutes later, I'll come to the conclusion that I'm lost. But the one thing that was noticeable to me in this rural area was this massive Lexus dealership. So I pull into the parking lot, I get out the car, I walk through the door. You guys know what happens next. The salesperson comes waltzing up to you and introduces himself. Hello, my name is so-and-so. What's your name? I said, my name is Shawn Fair. Well, Mr. Fair, what brings you to Lexus today? I said, man, I'm looking for the Chrysler dealership, and I was just wondering if you can point me in the right direction. He said, Mr. Fair, that's not a problem. See, if you go out the parking lot, you make a right-hand turn and go a mile down the road, there's a street with no street sign on it. See, the Chrysler dealership is on that street, but because it says 100 yards off the block, if you look to your left, you still wouldn't see it. I said, man, I must have passed by the street with no street sign on it about 15 different times, but because I didn't see the dealership, I didn't bother to make the left-hand turn. Now, Lethea, I want you to understand that I was relieved at that particular moment. So I'm walking out the door and I'm minding my own business, by the way. He comes trotting behind me 15 steps later. Mr. Fair, I was just wondering, what were you going to buy at the Chrysler dealership? I said, man, I'm about to go buy that brand new 300M white car, tan interior. Do you guys know what this man said to me? I'm going to tell you what he said. He said, Mr. Fair, that's a gorgeous car. It's got a lot of bells and whistles on it, and the price point is absolutely amazing. Now, what was he doing?
Checking to see if you could afford it.
Lizzie, I'm going to tell you what he was doing. He was buttering me up, and you guys know what's coming next. Well, Mr. Fair, since you are already here, I was just wondering if you could spend a few minutes with me so I could tell you a little bit about Lexus. Now, what did I say?
Of course.
I said, why not? Why not? But the question is, why did I say yes? Why did I say yes to that? And you guys can answer the question. It's okay. Why did I
Because
say?
he was helpful.
Who said that?
Teresa.
Teresa, thank you so much. You're absolutely right. He addressed my immediate concern, which was where was the Chrysler dealership? That was the number one reason that I spent time with him. So we get ready to go back to the dealership. Now we having some small talk. I'm getting to know him a little bit. He's getting to know me. As soon as we walk in the door, he says something like this, Mr. Fair, I gotta be honest with you. Now you guys know when someone starts off a phrase, when I gotta be honest with you, something negative is coming behind that. Well, Mr. Fair, when you walked in, I was right in the middle doing some paperwork, and we short staffed today. So I was just wondering if you can give me about 10 minutes and I'll be right back with you. So I gave him the look. And it was a deep pause for a moment. Now, this is right around 96, 98 time frame. But then he said, but Mr. Fair, in the meantime, I would like you to go into this corner of the dealership. There's some beer, wine, chip, and dip. And over in this corner, there's some internet access. I just want you to go in and help yourself. So what do I do?
You helped yourself.
Help yourself.
Not rocket science. I went over and I had some beer, wine, chip, and dip. And I'm using the internet access, just kind of passing the time. And he comes back to me 15 minutes later. What's the problem?
He said 10.
He said 10 minutes. He's 5 minutes late. He said, Mr. Fair, I apologize. It took me a little bit longer than I expected, but I noticed that you're enjoying the beer, wine, chip, and dip, and I see that you're using the internet access. I want to let you know that when you become a Lexus customer, you can come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and enjoy the beer, wine, chip, and dip on us. I said, you don't say. He said, Mr. Fair, if you to buy a Lexus car today, what car would you buy? Well, the GS 400 with the bubble lights was real hot. And my first question to him was what?
How much is it?
How much does the car cost, sir? He said, Mr. Fair, we're going to get to that in just a moment. Now, he takes me behind these double doors, and behind the double doors is the mechanic shop. Now, I'm looking around, the place is just spotless. There's no oil spills on the floor. The mechanics, they walking around in these nice white overcoats, like when you go to the dentist, they just clean. He says, Mr. Fair, I have to share something very important with you. He says, at Lexus, we only hire the best of the best. As a matter of fact, we only hire our mechanics from Toyota, which is our parent company. He said Chrysler Ford GM will hire a Chrysler Ford GM employee and they will fix a Chrysler Ford GM car. But at Lexus, we only hire Lexus and we only service Lexus, which means we are the very best at what we do. I said, you don't say. How much does the car cost that I'm asking you? He said, Mr. Fair, we're going to get to that in just a moment. So he's taking me down this long hallway, Sherry, and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. He's not saying nothing. I'm starting to feel slightly uncomfortable. He says, Mr. Fair, do you hear anything? I says, no. He says, right behind us is a Lexus car. I says, I can see that. He said, this car's got 300,000 miles on it. I said, that's great. He said, this car just so happens to be turned on. He says, when you own a Lexus car, Mr. Fair, and you bring it in every 90 days for service, your car is going to have the same longevity and sound just like this one. I said, you don't say. But my question is how much does the car cost? He said, Mr. Fair, we're going to get to that in just a moment. So back in those days, there's a guy named Jimmy. And Jimmy is the guy that brings around the test car. I couldn't wait to test this puppy out. And as soon as I get in the car, guess who jumps in with me? It's the salesperson. And the first thing he does is he cranks up the sound system to let me know there's a great sound system in the car. I says, I get it. He says, Mr. Fair, I was just wondering, how much time does it take for you to get back and forth to work? Now, at the time, I was living in the Detroit area. My job was in Cleveland. Now, Sherry, he's doing the math on this. Oh, Mr. Fair, that's 3 hours going this way. That's 3 hours coming back that way. That's 3 plus 3. That's 6. How many times do you make that trip over the course of the week? I says, I made that trip approximately 4 times. Well, Mr. Fair, that's 4 times 6. That's 24. He's talking to me like I don't understand how to do arithmetic. He says, I have something else I'm going to share with you, Mr. Fair. We have the best engineered engines of all the automakers out there today, which means you can have a smooth ride for the 24 hours you spend driving back and forth in your new Lexus vehicle. Now, before I can get out my mouth, we go back into the parking lot and we go behind the initial building. He says, Mr. Fair, do you know what this building is? I says, no. He says, this is where we wash the car. He said, Mr. Fair, when you own a Lexus car, you can bring your car in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we'll wash your car at absolutely no charge. Oh, by the way, if you have a wife, girlfriend, or fiance who owns a Chrysler Ford or GM, we will wash the Chrysler Ford or GM for the simple fact that you own the Lexus. Now, we won't fix it, but we'll wash it. Oh, by the way, if you bring your car in and we're busy, we'll give you a Lexus loaner car for 2 hours. Go take care of your business, and when you come back, we'll have the car all ready to go for you. I'm done with the story. Here's my question. What was the salesperson creating for me?
And a lifestyle, an experience.
Yeah, lifestyle was in there. The experience is the word that I'm looking for. He created a wonderful and emotional experience for me. Unlike any other dealership, that only thing they were concerned about was price, where this person was more concerned about the relationship and the benefits that I would receive by having this car. Now, the reason that this story is such an important story because in a very similar way that he established an emotional relationship with me, it is very similar to a way a manager would establish a relationship, emotional relationship with their employees. That's a fact. Now, let me just take you through a couple things. In order for you to establish a relationship with your employees, there are certain ways that you have to lead. And there are certain attributes that you have to demonstrate. Now, I would like for you guys to blurt this out. I'm gonna give everybody about 2 minutes here. I want you to tell me what are the 5 most critical attributes that you must demonstrate as a leader to ensure that the people that work for you willingly follow you. Anybody want to just take a stab? What are the 5? What are the 5 most critical attributes that you must demonstrate as a
Trust,
leader? Oh, trust is one. Trust is
Listen,
one. What's that?
Credibility.
empathy,
Accountability. All right. Anybody else?
Credibility.
empathy,
Oh, say it again.
Credibility.
empathy.
Oh,
Sorry.
empathy. Empathy would actually be number 5.
Do we get listening?
Listening would be number 7, actually.
Expertise. Expertise.
Integrity.
Integrity. I put that right up with trustworthiness.
Humility.
Humility. It's a very good trait to have as a leader, but not in the top 5. Well, let's talk about it. The first one, which is, I don't know why people forget this one, but it's lead by example. That's number 1. The question becomes, what does it mean to demonstrate lead by example as a manager in today's workplace? What does that mean exactly? Well, there's 2 definitions for that. The first definition is, I wouldn't ask my employees to do anything that I'm unwilling to do myself. That's definition number 1. The problem with that definition is it doesn't always apply. When I was the vice president of training for a division of AT&T, I had 2 training coordinators, and there were certain things I would ask them to do. I can tell you right now, I wasn't doing it. And it wasn't because I didn't want to do it. Our skill sets were polar opposites of one another. And by the way, if I had time to help them, they would tell me to go about my business because I was going to mess it up anyway. They want me had nothing to do with it. So it doesn't always apply. But the second definition applies all the time. It means that you know, you do, you understand, and you execute your own personal job. And you do it at 150% as it pertains to your employees. Let me give you an example. How many of you on this call are managers and leaders? You manage some folks. How many of you have some folks on your team right now you should have fired a long time ago? Anybody? Now, again, if they own this call, don't raise your hand. Don't do that. Now, if you have someone that's on your team you should have fired a long time ago, let me just tell you, the people that they work with knew they should have been fired before you knew they should have been fired. The negative attributes that you figured out about that individual, they knew about it way before you knew about it. But you want to call me in to have a one-on-one coaching session to tell me about what it is I'm doing and not doing. But this person's been around for the past 18 months, underperforming with a poor attitude. Your ability to coach, train, hold folks accountable, and discipline is minimized when that attribute is missing, because that is a part of your job that you need to execute. Now, we could talk about lead by example for 2 hours, but we're going to keep moving. Number 2 is trustworthiness. The question becomes, what does it mean to demonstrate trustworthiness as a manager in today's workplace? What does that mean exactly? Now, this may be a little bit more simpler than what you're thinking, but all it means is that you do what you say you're going to do. Well, Sherry, the problem is we don't always do what we say we're going to do now, do we? Well, I got great news for you. Generally, when that happens, your people are very understanding of that. But let's just say you tell them you're going to do something else and you just don't get around to doing it. I still got great news for you. Generally, they're understanding of that too. But let's just say you tell them you're going to do something else, you just don't get around to doing it. Sooner or later, the trust starts to break down, erode, dissipate, whatever words you want to use. And all of a sudden, you created an environment for something very toxic to happen in it. And it starts with the letter G. Anybody want to take a stab at it? is gossip. 90% of the gossip that happens in today's workplace stems from leaders not doing what they say they're going to do. And when you don't do what you say you want to do, you give your people something to what? Talk about. And as soon as you walk away from your environment, guess what they're doing? They're talking about you. But you want to call me in to have a one-on-one coaching session to tell me about what it is I'm doing and not doing. But the fact of the matter is, you can't seem to keep your word. Your ability to coach, train, hold folks accountable, and discipline is minimized when that attribute is missing. Number 3 is mutual respect. So the question I have for everybody here is, when does respect start between a manager and an employee? Like, generally, when does it start? Anybody want to take a stab at that?
At the beginning of the relationship.
At the beginning of
interview.
in
The
the interview
interview.
process. You know what? I would tend to agree with you on that, right? Because there was a pre-screening, right? After the pre-screening, there was a first interview. After the first interview, there was probably a second interview. In some cases, there was even what? A third interview. Then we decided to hire the person. There's no reason not to give them respect now, is there? But when they come on board, you have a very important job to do. You're supposed to break down the rules and regulations, the policies and procedures, break down their expectations, give them a 30, 60, and 90-day goal, give them reporting so they can see and evaluate where they are in achieving those goals. And after you've done all of that, you take them through the company's mission statement so they understand the standard of excellence in which the company delivers its products and services. And after you've done all of that, you take them through the company's vision statement so they understand the value that your organization brings to society, and they understand the value that they bring to society within the position that they hold in the organization. And after you've done all of that, you send them to an onboarding training program that's either 1, 2, or 3 weeks long. And if you are a great manager, you know for a fact they're not going to know everything they're supposed to know after attending that training, which means you created a secondary training agenda. You give it to someone who's been in your team for the past 4, 5, 6 years. You partner that person up with the new hire for a very specific period of time, so the new hire is confident and competent to do the job in a reasonable period of time. If you've done all of that for your new hire, what have you done? You have shown them respect. You show them respect by setting up the foundation of success up for them at the very beginning. How many of you have done an end-of-year review of your employees from 2025 in 2026? How many? Raise your hand or give me an electronic wave if you've done an end-of-year review of your employees. Anybody been in that scenario? Now, if you have, my question is, when did they see the evaluation form? When did they see it? When did they see the evaluation form? Now,
2 weeks before the end of the year.
2 weeks before the end of the year. That's a great. I get that answer quite a bit. Or sometimes I get, you know what, they saw it for the first time during the actual evaluation. Sometimes I get they see it 30 days so they can do a self-evaluation first. But the question becomes, when should they see it? They should see the evaluation within the first week of hire, and the manager should take them through every single line on the evaluation form and explain to them how they achieve 90 to 95% in every single category. You guys know this. The evaluation form says something like this: you take initiative. Well, what does that mean exactly? If someone would give me some direction on what taking initiative looks like within the position that I hold in the organization, don't you think you point them in the right direction? It is unfair to evaluate an employee on something they've never seen before, and no one has taken them through the standard of excellence in which they're going to be evaluated throughout the course of the year. But you want to call me in to have a one-on-one coaching session to tell me about what it is I'm doing and not doing. But the fact of the matter is, you've never taken me through the standard of excellence in which I'm going to be evaluated on throughout the course of the year. We have to be very mindful of the attributes that we demonstrate or don't demonstrate in front of our employees. Number 4 is praise. Now, my question to all of you is very simple. Is when do you praise your employees? When does that happen? When do you praise your employees?
Throughout the relationship, as often
Right.
as possible.
Throughout the relationship, often as possible. If we was playing Family Feud, you get 75 points for that answer. I get that answer quite a bit. So let me just say that a lot of times people intertwine the word praise and appreciation as the same thing. And although those words are similar in meaning, They are different. Appreciation is a one-on-one expression between myself and an employee, a one-on-one expression. Now, before I get into that, there's something called the paycheck, right? And the paycheck comes with a certain standard of work, and that standard of work should be above satisfactory. So, in other words, an employee does good work, and then we provide them with a paycheck. Now, if they're consistent in doing a good job, right, I'm going to then show them some appreciation. Like, for example, hey, Sherry, over the past 3 weeks, you've been doing an outstanding job. I just want to say it hasn't gone unnoticed. Keep up the good work. That's appreciation, right? That's a one-on-one expression between myself and the employee. Praise is an outward expression. When I praise someone, everyone on the team knows about it. And I only give it when people go above and beyond the job description. Now, I'm not saying to you they have to go to the moon and bring back minerals. That's not what I'm saying. But if the job description says that Sherry's supposed to work from 9 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m., and I say, Sherry, can you give me an extra hour today? And Sherry says, Shawn, that's not a problem. Well, that's going above and beyond the job description. And the next team meeting that I have, I'm going to let everyone know from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. last Tuesday, Sherry gave us an extra hour out of her life to contribute to the productivity of this organization. And during that time, she completed A, B, C, D, and E. And I want to thank her in front of all of you for a job well done. You know, Sherry, what's really funny about this topic is that folks go above and beyond the job description all the time, and no one's making any mention of it. But you want to call me in to have a one-on-one coaching session to tell me about what it is I'm doing and not doing. But the fact of the matter is, when I do go above and beyond, you never say nothing about it. We have to be very mindful of the attributes that we demonstrate or don't demonstrate in front of our employees. And the last one, some of you use the word empathy. I'm going to say something slightly different. It's experience and understanding people. Do you guys know that 30% of today's employees have some variation of ADHD? You guys know that? I got a touch of it myself. There ain't no point in you sending me a email with 7 paragraphs in it. I can tell you right now, I ain't reading it. Now, I might skim through it, but I'm not reading it. Right? There's certain percentage of people in today's workplace that's bipolar. There's another small percentage of people that struggle with seasonal affective disorder. It's dark when they go to work in the morning through October and March, and it's dark when they come home. They experience anxiety, depression that time of year. There's some people that had trauma early in life and late in life, and you see remnants in today's workplace. Now, I'm not saying for you guys to go back and start diagnosing people. That's illegal. You cannot do that. But what I am saying is you have to recognize the signs and try different ways of managing people. Those are the 5 most critical attributes that you must demonstrate as a leader to ensure great fellowship. Now, if you can do that, then we can talk about the 3 styles of leadership that allows you to conform your leadership to all of your employees, because every employee cannot be managed the same way. So I'm going to take you through 3 styles of leadership quickly. The first style of leadership is called autocratic leadership. An autocratic leader believes in discipline. They believe in corrective action. Meeting the deadline is highly important to an autocratic leader. They have a my way or a highway approach to leading people. They don't believe in getting feedback from their employees. Their feedback is the only feedback that matters. When it comes to rules and regulations, policies and procedures, they expect everyone to follow them exactly what the rule book has them spelled out. Autocratic leadership is a wonderful way to lead. There's a time, there's a place, and there's a situation to demonstrate it. For example, if you have a new hire, generally they're green to the organization. They don't know much about anything. I'm going to tell them what to do, when to do it, where to do it, how to get it back to me, and when to get it back to me until they're confident and competent to do the job. Or you have a boss who injects themselves into your life at the last minute. They give you a task to get to the team. They knew about it 3 weeks ago. They give it to you 2 days before it's due. You don't have time to get feedback for your employees. You're going to give them with very specific directions. Here's what I want you to do. Here's how I want you to do it. Here's what I need it back. You're going to demonstrate autocratic leadership. It's a wonderful way to lead. There's a time, there's a place, and there's a situation to demonstrate it. But Alethea, let me just say this to you. you can't lead that way all the time. Because if you lead that way all the time, you're going to have some frustrated and angry folks working for you. I travel 3 countries. I work with some of the largest corporations in the world. And before I start working with them, I always have a discovery call. And just to get some information about their mid-level managers. And when I ask them questions, sure, they start talking bad about their people. Well, Shawn, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. That's why we called you in here. You need to come in and fix this situation. I say, stop it. You're tainting my view. I don't want to know that kind of information about your people just yet. But here's what I would like to do. I would like to come into your organization over the next 5 days in the morning and let me spend some time with your people. Let me get to know them for myself. And then I would like to watch folks' behavior towards the end of the day. See, quitting time generally is around 5 o'clock. I start paying close attention to folks right around 4:30. Tells you a whole lot about leadership. So when I walk in, people don't mind spending time with me. See, they consider me to be a neutral figure because they know that I'm not on this side or that side. I'm just on the right side. And here's what I can tell you. If they don't have anything good to say, within the first 5 minutes of my conversation with them, generally, I know there's a problem with leadership. And then I wait towards the end of the day. Remember, quitting time is at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you what you start to see right around 4:30. People start walking away from their desk and their cubicles and they start having some small talk. Hey, how's everything going today? And Sherry, you got anything that I can help you with before you leave? And how's the family doing? You going to the game tonight? Like, what are they doing? They're passing the time. And then right around 4:45, people start going to the bathroom. Of course, they want to pee on company time. And then right around 5 minutes to 5, the ladies. I'm not talking about the ladies on this call. I'm talking about the other ladies. They go back to the office in the cubicles and they change from the dress shoes to the gym shoes because they want to fast escape out the door. And managers, you guys know how this works. You need some last minute information. It's right at 5 o'clock. You peek out the door and guess what? Everybody's already gone. You run to the windows and you know all the cars are gone too. Because in autocratic leadership style companies, people have figured something out. They don't park their cars like regular folk. They back their cars in. That way, when they get into their car, they can just zoom right out the parking lot. Here's my point. If 5 o'clock p.m. is the highlight of your people's day, there's a problem with leadership. In other words, if they come to work at 9 and all they're looking forward to is 5, you're going to get the least amount of their time, energy, and effort. Autocratic leadership is a wonderful way to lead. But if it's the only way that you lead, you'll have some frustrated and angry folks working for you. That leads me to leadership style number 2. It's called democratic leadership. A democratic leader believes in the team environment. They believe that they should have a relationship with each one of their team members. They believe that their team members should have a relationship with one another. They give their team members a voice. Their feedback is highly important to them. On some occasions, they're making their decisions based off of their team members' feedback, and some rare occasions, they're allowing the team members to make decisions within the team environment. Is a wonderful way to lead. Now, before I continue with this, may I ask you guys a very serious question? Should the people that work for you like you? What do you think? Should the people that work for you like you? Now, this does require a yes or a no on this one.
How about a maybe?
Oh, I got a maybe. Now that's a political answer.
Correct.
You skirting the fence on me on that one.
I'm gonna say yes.
All right. So I got a yes. I got a maybe. Anybody else want to chime in? Okay. Thank you, Cher. I got another yes. All right. So here's my perspective on this: is that the people that work for you should like you. If you have to go to work for someone that you don't like because they don't demonstrate the right leadership attributes or qualities, what kind of environment is it for that employee? What do you guys think? We all family here. How many of you guys work for someone you just don't like? Like it's an unpleasant environment. It's a frustrating environment. It's a toxic environment? How many of you have been in that situation? Like, you don't even want to get up and go to work anymore. It is very difficult to go to work for someone that you generally don't like because they don't demonstrate the right leadership attributes and qualities. That's why democratic leadership is such an important style, because it helps you to build meaningful relationships with your employees. It's a wonderful way to lead. There's a time, there's a place, and there's a situation to demonstrate it. But Sherry, you know what I'm gonna say. You can't lead that way all the time. Because if you lead that way all the time, you're gonna have some frustrated and angry folks working for you. If you have to get feedback from your employees all the time, right? If you have to, if you're making your decisions based off your people's feedback all the time, right? If you're allowing the team members to make decisions within the team environment all the time, you'll find out over a stretched period of time is that work is not getting done. And when employees are in an environment where work is not getting done, you end up with some frustrated and angry folks working for you. Democratic leadership is a wonderful way to lead. But if it's the only way that you lead, you'll have some frustrated employees in your team. That leads me to leadership style number 3. How many of you have been managing people for 5, 6, 7, 8+ years? Anybody in that scenario? You've been leading folks for a while. All right. Thank you, Roderick. I appreciate that. If you've been leading and managing people for 5+ years, that means that you have some folks that's been working for you for 1, 2, 3 years. That means that you have some folks that know like you know, they do like you do, they think like you think, right? They know some of the same things that you know. They come to work with a positive attitude. They're productive in doing their jobs. They have great relationships with their team members, and therefore you share your authority with those individuals. In other words, you allow them to make decisions within their positions without seeking counsel from you. In other words, you're saying to that employee, I trust you. That's a motivational factor for an employee. I used to love working for executives who gave me the autonomy to do my job the way that I wanted, because I had demonstrated over a lengthy period of time that I was a professional at getting my job done. It's a wonderful way to lead. There's a time, there's a place, and there's a situation to demonstrate it. But you know what I'm going to say. You can't lead that way all the time. Because if you lead that way all the time, you're going to have some frustrated and angry folks working for you. If you share your authority with your employees all the time, well, after a while, it's not sharing anymore now, is it? You are giving your authority away. If you lead that way for too long, your people will no longer look at you as the manager. They'll start to see you as more of a resource. If you lead that way for too long, you become disconnected from your employees. If you continue to lead that way, you become disconnected from your very own job and responsibilities. And if you continue to lead that way, you become disconnected from the organization, because the perception will be is that you're not doing your job. Free reign leadership is a wonderful way to lead. But if it's the only way that you lead, you'll have some frustrated and angry folks working for you. And that's why you must practice blended leadership. You should go back and forth between these 3 styles of leadership throughout the course of the day, based on the person, the situation, and the circumstance. So what I'm saying to you is that you must conform your leadership style to meet the needs of every employee that works for you. The question is, why is that necessary?
Shawn, could we pop in with another question that came up?
Sure.
So professional speakers, as professional speakers on this call, how might professional speakers who aren't necessarily leaders per se, but they're maybe leading their clients or leading their own selves or their own business, apply some of these leadership skills?
Well, do you guys know that a lot of people connect with me for one reason? Besides that, I have a great product, I have a great team, but a lot of people connect with me because of my leadership ability, my leadership skills. The reason they connect with me because they know that I manage well. So in other words, When they buy a product or a service from me and something is not done correctly, they know that my leadership is going to address that issue. And it doesn't matter if it's a team member or it's a contractor, whom it is that I have the ability to manage that situation at all costs. And so most of the people that's connected with me that I coach, right, I am teaching them what leadership is all about. Because at the end of the day, when you have a platform, whether you have direct employees that work for you, whether you have volunteers that work for you, whether you have contractors that are doing business with you, they all have to be managed. And even the clients that you have, you shouldn't direct your clients, you should be managing your clients. So most speakers should have a coaching program, right? Because as a speaker, without having a platform, it's very difficult to build and maintain a business without having a platform. Those two things, they go hand in hand. This is where leadership comes into play, right? People are watching you build your business, and your leadership also is on display, not only in person. Your leadership is also displayed where? Where can people see your leadership outside of having a one-on-one interaction? Where can they find it? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
When they interact with your product offerings.
That's a part of it. But if you go to my social media page, it doesn't matter which one. If you Google me, my leadership is very apparent. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And in other words, my reputation that has been built, you can see it online. You can follow my story. You can go back 10 years posting and come all the way up to today and see a natural progression of leadership. You can see it, right? And so when people can actually see that, not just in person, but also online, it is a direct reason to connect. So when I'm working with a client, let's just say I have a lot of different contracts with organizations. I can have 6 months left in a contract with a corporation. They'll call me and say, Shawn, we wanted to tie you down for the next contract. We see everything that you have going on and we see who you're working with. And before you get too bogged down, we want to tie you down for the next year. They see that leadership and they understand it's consistently growing. It's consistently growing. When you have great leadership skills, you're able to navigate conversations better. When you have great leadership skills, you're able to have better relationships with everyone that comes in contact with you. When you have great leadership skills, your authority on stage sticks out like a sore thumb. There are so many reasons why speakers should truly understand what leadership is all about. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And maybe you could speak um, to some of the critical steps for building a sustainable speaking career too.
Absolutely. So there's a few things that as a speaker you have to do in order to build a business. One, if you are a speaker and all you're looking for is to get on stages and for people to pay you, it is likely you will fail. It is very likely you will fail. If you're a speaker, it is so important that you have a platform to go along with it. In other words, I have a high-end product that I'm offering. So I built my own stage and I can bring people to me and charge them for a product that brings value into their life, right? And I'm also at the same time, how many of you guys know that you can apply for paid speaking opportunities on a daily basis? How many of you know that? If you go to Google and you put in the phrase call for blank speakers 2026 right now, you'll see call for speakers. You'll see all kinds of opportunities that you can apply for. You can do that daily. The blank is whatever your speaking category is. Call for women empowerment conferences 2026. Call for women empowerment speakers 2026, right? So you fill in that blank and you can apply for paid speaking opportunities. Now, when you apply for paid speaking opportunities, here's the question. The question is, do you have video work that represents you well? So when you're applying, you can show them great content, which is one of the reasons why the Leadership Experience Tour exists, is to give speakers phenomenal video work. That's exactly what we do. Number two, if your social media is it doesn't show that you do this on a regular basis, you're going to struggle. Because at the end of the day, when you apply for the paid speaking events, the event planner, they're going three places. You know what places they're going to? They're going to Google you, they're going to your Facebook, you're going to your LinkedIn, they're going to your Instagram, they're going to your TikTok. Your social media has to represent you, that you actually do this. And by the way, having a business page is not good enough, because no one's going to your business social media pages. When the event planner goes to your page, you know what page they're going to? They're going to your personal page. Your personal page should be your business page. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a business page, but what's the point of having a business page? Because Facebook and LinkedIn, they're squelching you on purpose. So when you post, in most cases, your reach is only going to be 3 or 4 or 5 at best. Why is that? Because they want you to run ads. And it's not that you shouldn't run ads, because when you get to a certain level, you should run ads. But the people that love you is on your personal page. The people that's going to support you is on your personal page. Your biggest following is on your personal page. The people that will connect you with other people most likely is on your personal page. So when they see you doing outstanding things regularly, all of a sudden you'll start hearing from people you ain't never heard before. And if you're not posting 3 to 5 times a day, you're missing the boat. The opportunities are out there all the time, but if you're not in front of the opportunities on a consistent basis, then you're going to struggle in the industry. Most speakers don't have the content to post that frequently. I can post 6, 7, 8 times a day and not run out of content. The second thing is that you have to have a signature event. Having a signature event allows you to share your gift up close and personal, and that's where your influence is at its highest point, that allows you to sell your platform. Guys, if you think about all of the greats that's doing this right now, Les Brown has a signature event. John Maxwell has a signature event. Lisa Nickel has a signature event. Sonia Strilling has a signature event. Dr. Cheryl Wood has a signature event. Dr. Shay Brown has a signature event. I have a signature event. Gary Vee has a signature event. Grant Cardone has a signature event. They all have something in common. It's not by mistake that they're all doing that. So having a signature event where you can sell your products is extremely important. So having a great social media presence is important, and putting out great content. And how many of you have reels of you speaking, and you're rolling reels out on a consistent basis? In other words, 60 seconds or less of you on stage, or you doing a live, or you doing a Zoom call, and you're chopping that content up and you're putting that out on social media like every 3 to 4 posts. If people don't see you, if people don't hear you, it makes it so difficult to build your business. Next thing is that
John, there was a question, I'm sorry, in the chat about even with having the content, how is it possible to post 3 to 5 times per day without having a team?
Oh, see, the biggest key is this. One, you can either have a CRM, and you can have your CRM program. But believe it or not, I post 3, sometimes 5, sometimes 7 times in a day. And sometimes it's purposely done because I'm reaching somebody I need to reach. If all your content is on your phone, I have 20,000 videos and photos of me on stage or in that environment. It's all on my device. It literally takes me, I get up in the morning, it takes me 5 minutes, right? And there are other tools that will allow you to post, right? And that you can program. But if all your content is on your phone, it literally takes just a few minutes to do that. Doesn't take long. With the evolution of AI and messaging, short messaging, long messaging, it literally, I go to my AI app, I put in a few of my words, boom, short message, long message. That takes like 35, 45 seconds, right? I go ahead to my photos, boom, I pull the video that I want, boom, I send it off to Facebook. If I got to do the Instagram, my Instagram goes to Facebook. That's one. LinkedIn, I'm just copy and pasting, boom, I'm done there. I upload to YouTube. Within 5 minutes, I'm done. I'm done. Right? So it's people say that there's not enough time for that. It's not that difficult, especially when you're batching, because I do it every day. I'm pretty quick at it. I'm pretty quick. You'd be surprised as to how much that happens for you if you're doing that every single day. Every single day. What are you doing? You're telling people, you're sharing to your target audience, this is what you do, and you do it on a consistent basis. The other thing that you need to do, you cannot build this business staying at home. You have to expose yourself. You have to get on other stages, and you have to go into other rooms, right? I'm in other rooms at least 3-4 times a month, right? And so because I'm in these different rooms and I'm on these different stages, people get a chance to see my gift on a frequent and ongoing basis. So if you're not getting on stages, if you're not getting in other rooms, well, that's another part of the challenge. The other part is that they're afraid to spend money marketing themselves. Pay to play is not a bad thing when you have a credible platform, right? There's certain stages I pay to get on. I'm going to PNX, and I'm spending 10 grand to be on that stage. And the reason I'm spending 10 grand because I'm gonna go and sell about $150,000 worth of product, right? You having that platform is extremely important. Selling from the stage and having a product that allows you to sell on the stage is extremely important if you're trying to build at a level that brings a significant amount of income for you and your family.
Sean, there's another question related to that. As mostly professional speakers that speak to Fortune 500 companies, what is the product they would be buying at our own signature event?
Now, in that case, it's a little bit different. Now, in my coaching cohort, we have a lot of speakers that do what I do. They build their own speaking platforms. But we have speakers that also do conferences. So we just left one in Houston, Texas. Shayla Atkins just did her first signature event with the Leadership Experience Tour, and she had about 50, and it was all ladies in the corporate space. They were all leaders in the corporate space. And what she did was she sold a one-on-one coaching program, for executives and mid-level managers at that event. And she had phenomenal speakers that were there, and they were on a high. They talked about self-branding, and when she was done, I think she closed about 25% of the ladies for that one-on-one coaching program that she has. And it was all about women leadership in today's workplace. That is slightly different than men leading in today's workplace. So that is one product that you can sell. Let's see. Was there another question here?
There was a comment with regard to that. We sell keynotes and get paid for the keynote versus the coaching. Could you speak a little more to that, please?
Oh yeah, you can. Well, here's the thing, right? Sometimes it selling the keynote can be advantageous, especially if you're in front of an association, right? So I've been in several different associations. I was in Lake Tahoe. There was an association for restoration companies, right? I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of textile restoration. Well, there was about 150 CEOs and vice presidents that I was in front of. So let me tell you how I sold my program. Now, one, my speaking fees are $22,500. I get about 85% of the time in the corporate space. There are times when I deal with associations, they cannot afford that. So I end up getting about 7,500. And I always tell them that I got to make up for that other income. So I always ask, one, can I sell a product from the stage that you endorse? Right? I always get a yes on this. And two, when I sell that product on the stage, can I have a hard break right after I deliver that product. Now, let me tell you one of my offers that I give. And if I got about 150 people in front of me, I do anywhere between 40 and 60 grand on this. So when I'm done, I've got people on a high. People enjoyed the presentation. They've learned a lot. And I says, I got something for you that is endorsed by the association. I says, my speaking fees are $22,500. That's what they paid me to be here. I says, but for today, for you, for anyone that would like to bring me in their organization anytime over the next 12 months, any day that I have an open schedule, you can get me for $1,000 for one day. And I will get, people will scream out, what's the catch? I says, the catch is you have to go over to that corner. Marcus Wright, he's my VP of sales. You have to give him your credit card today. And you do have to cover my airfare. You have to cover my hotel. You have to cover my ground. You have to cover my per diem. My per diem is $60 a day. And so right when we take that break, they go over there, and I'm telling you, he can't keep up with the credit cards. Who is who? And we generally make about 40 to 50,000 on that day. Now, here's the thing. Do I care about the 40 or 50,000? No, it's great to have it, and I've covered my costs more than what they would have paid me had they paid me my full amount. But what they did was they just paid me $1,000 to come do a discovery call in their company. So I'm going to go and give a leadership presentation in front of their leaders, and I'm going to tell a story that helps them come to the realization that they have significant dysfunction within their organization, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about a potential contract. It is a great offer, especially when you delivered a presentation that brought tremendous value to that target audience.
Getting a lot of love on that one. Well, Shawn, we're close to the top of the hour, so we have two more questions if you have some time to share.
Sure.
One of them is a question and a comment with a question. Right now, a lot of speakers are reporting that their speaking is down from last year. What are the 3 critical factors event planners consider when selecting speakers?
Well, right now, your pricing is going to be a big factor. You guys know that over 600,000 women have been laid off in today's marketplace since January. Since January. So the marketplace is is not really good right now. So one, you're going to have to adjust your pricing and find different ways to make up for it once you get inside of the organization. Number two, um, you really have to tighten up on skill set. Let me tell you the 3 things that's a winner for organizations. A speaker that has the ability to engage, educate, and entertain. Those 3 pieces, if you're able to master that, and by the way, the entertainment part is one of the most critical components as a speaker in today's marketplace. And you just can't tell a joke and it's got to be funny. Like nobody laugh at it. That's not good. Like you have to be very good with punchlines. Studying comedians is a good thing that you do. Now, I study Dave Chappelle. Now, sometimes he can be a little vulgar, so just blot that part out. But he's a tremendous storyteller. And in the training corporate world, if you could master short stories and train at the same time, it becomes an extreme benefit, right? And it gives you a competitive edge in today's marketplace. They want their people educated, but they want their people entertained. They want people to enjoy the presentations they're listening to.
Yes, indeed. People want to be educated and entertained, and another an E. Great info. Another comment question is great information for selling books with a keynote. How did you get booked on the association stage or corporate stage?
Well, so there's a few answers, right? So I do the Google, or have my admin Terry Golightly for me. She does all of my Google applications, and so we average about 5 to 7 apps through that method. We also do I find you close, right? That's another one if you want to write that down. I find you close is it a website. Once you fill out your information, they'll send you applications for paid opportunities, and these are high-end paid opportunities through that particular site. right, that fits your category. Sometimes they're not always a great fit, but let me just say this. Just because you see a cybersecurity conference and they're looking for a speaker and you're not a cybersecurity speaker doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply for it. Let me just say this. And this is the other part, the other mistake that a lot of speakers make. Because what I do is I'll apply for, I've spoken at 5 different cybersecurity conferences that were looking for cybersecurity speakers. So when I'm applying, when I get to my bio, I put in there, before I put my bio in, I says, it's very clear to me that you are looking for a cybersecurity speaker. But it's important to know that every conference should have at least one soft skill speaker at their event for change of pace. And you believe it or not, I get a good handful of them that'll come back and say, Shawn, we never thought about that before. And then when I go to those conferences and I do a leadership training in the midst of all these cybersecurity experts, you guys know the number one presentation that's talked about? Well, it ain't the cybersecurity training.
Yours.
It is the leadership training. It gets the number one reviews every single time, because who wants to sit and listen to a boring guy talk about cybersecurity with a bunch of people that's there that already knows about cybersecurity, right? So going to different conferences, even though they're looking for a type of speaker, if you say that, every conference should have a soft skill speaker for change of pace, right? It's an engagement tool that every conference should use. Is bringing in a soft skill speaker, a good one that can engage, educate, and entertain. Any other questions?
Would you like to make any closing comments?
Well, first of all, let me just thank you, Sherry, and I want to thank Lethea for, obviously the opportunity. If anyone is interested in coming to the Leadership Experience Tour, we have a big event August of 2026. Guys, we have the number one platform for speakers for content, video work. We bring in a big stage that's 20-foot tall, 15-foot wide digital backdrop with 2 6-feet digital slats. It's a 3-day event. You're in front of TV cameras for 3 days, and you get about 225 pieces of TV quality content that is absolutely off the chain. We also do NFL Super Bowl Media Week, where you get a chance to be interviewed by national media. There's 316 in the building. You get a chance to interview the Super Bowl players and talk about your platform, and you get them to talk about your platform and get that on tape. And we're even doing a big speaking event on the Norwegian cruise in April. We have a conference room that holds 2,000, and our event is on the cruise roster, so all of the people that's on the cruise can actually attend it. So for those of you that's interested in being a speaker on the cruise, that is something I recommend. But I recommend coming to the actual tour first, because that content that you get it really takes you to the next level. When you put out TV quality content on your page, it separates you from everybody else that's out there, because not too many speakers have it. You can connect with me on social media, Shawn Fair, SHAWN, Fair like the state fair, FAIR. I should pop up on Facebook right away, LinkedIn right away, and the TikTok as well, and Instagram.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shawn. We are so grateful for you sharing your wisdom and experience and expertise.